starting out thinking about homeschooling, or you're looking for just a little bit of encouragement to keep you going, I am going to give you the realities of homeschool. Not the Pinteresty stuff you see, but the actual realities of homeschool. And I'm going to give you my top 7 tips to get you through. As a disclaimer, I just want to say that I definitely do not have this whole thing figured out. I know we all start out thinking that, oh, everyone else must have this whole thing figured out except for me. But the truth is, and you'll find, nobody has it figured out yet. And I don't care what people post on Facebook or how Pinteresty they make their classroom look or how they make it seem like they have it all together. They don't. That's not real. So don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone has their own journey and everyone has their own circumstances, and you have many different seasons of life that you'll go through, so things are going to change. And I tell you one reality, you're always going to find yourself back at that kitchen table or on the couch in your pajamas. So as a whole, the homeschooling community is amazing. You're going to find so much support from any homeschooling family. They're going to welcome you in their home, show you their curriculum, tell you what works for them and what doesn't work, and you can just take from that. And you'll find some good homeschooling moms that you find a good quality in them, and you want to take that into your homeschooling life and make that something that you can work on. And that's really what works, just getting support from other homeschooling families. If you're not a believer, you can skip to number 2, but if you are a believer, the number 1 top tip, very first thing you have to do is get before God and ask Him to send the Holy Spirit to lead in your homeschool life. So if you let the Holy Spirit lead in your regular life, you have to let the Holy Spirit lead in your homeschool life. This is not some kind of second-class journey that you need to take alone. So allowing God to direct your footsteps in this is going to create something way more awesome than anything you could have ever made up on your own. And if we truly believe that the Bible is God-breathed, then we need to let God breathe in our children's lives. Number 2, if you're just starting out, you're going to need to understand your state's laws and requirements regarding homeschooling, because believe it or not, homeschooling is not governed on the federal level. So every state has their own set of laws and requirements. And I know that can sound challenging, but if I can figure it out, then you can figure it out. So first thing is a simple Google search. That'll help you figure out everything you need to know. Every state has their own support group websites that you can go to, and any documents that you need to sign and get into your state will probably be available for download at their website. And they're going to have so much support for you to understand how to report and how often you need to report. Because the laws are changing often, even with vaccines, many states require you to report every year. Some states only need you to report one time. And as far as vaccines, if you choose not to vaccinate, you need to understand, does your state have a philosophical exemption, religious exemption, or do they only allow medical exemptions? Because you can simply fill out one of these exemptions and get them sent in instead of your vaccine schedule. But you need to understand if you need to do this one time or every year. And so that's why you just need to get online and let these websites help you. Some states even require state standardized testing. Our great state of Arizona's $25 monthly membership is absolutely worth it, and their monthly emails will keep you completely up to date. Number 3, it's time to pick a curriculum, and do yourself a favor. Don't just pick a curriculum that's good for your kids, but pick something that you can stand to do too, because something you might not think about is the fact that you're going to be doing all of this fun stuff every single day too. So make sure you pick something that you can stand. The best way to pick a curriculum that's going to suit your whole family is by actually getting your hands on this curriculum, checking it out and seeing what it's all about. The 2 best ways that I can tell you to get your hands on some good curriculum is a homeschooling curriculum sale put on by homeschooling moms, or a homeschooling expo put on by your local homeschooling convention. 2 tips for going to the convention. One is signing up as a first-time attendee can save you tons of money and you can get in practically free. Number 2, I would say go by yourself. You don't even have to go to any of the speaking engagements, but if you go by yourself, it's already overwhelming enough. It'll give you the opportunity to think and ask questions and really get to know the people who actually make and create this curriculum. Number 2, if you choose to go to a homeschooling curriculum sale, that's awesome too, because you get to meet all the homeschooling families, talk with them, and look over all of their curriculum, but also all the proceeds, any money you spend goes to help homeschooling families in need. And please don't feel like you need to spend a ton of money on curriculum. One thing that has really worked for us are placemats and other visuals that you can get from any educational teaching store, or you can print them offline. We have memorized all of our states and all of our presidents just using placemats. I love old and new placemats because they have different facts on the back. Also, you can place tracing paper on the top and let your child trace over all the different countries to see which different countries border each other. You can Google educational placemats, or you can find them on the end caps at Target, Walmart, or even yard sales. Also, please don't feel like you have to choose just one curriculum. I personally like to choose a different curriculum for each subject. My kids are really good at math, so I like to choose a math curriculum that they can jump ahead when they're ready. Also, we're not bound to read the books they want us to read. My kids love to read because I let them read what they love, and we created a book nook so they can read when they want. We also use library books for science and history, and I love these random books I found from the homeschool convention. My kids also absolutely love nature studies, so we created our own nature study books and we go on nature study hikes. Also, letting them use real tools such as a real calendar and virtual reality maps help them to understand things for themselves. We also created these sticks so they can have a sense of self-accomplishment when they finish one task. They can be done and move on. And don't forget, there are so many great websites that offer printables, most of which are free. Number 4, groups. There are endless opportunities for groups for homeschoolers, so don't think for a second that you're just going to sit around and miss out on all of the group activities such as PE, Spanish, art, and field trips. They're huge for homeschoolers. The reality is, you are going to be so busy and you're going to find so much to do and so much to be a part of. The homeschooling community is huge, that you are going to be wondering, when do you have time to actually homeschool? Anyway, all you have to do is simply Google homeschool with your zip code and you're going to find tons of groups to join. You can choose to be a part of a group that is just support for you while your kids get to engage in activities with other kids their own age, or you can be a part of an actual curriculum-based group where you actually do your curriculum alongside the other families in that group, or you can choose to be a part of an actual large homeschooling group that you go to each week. For the most part, every homeschool group is going to have a park day where you all meet together. The kids can hang out together, the moms can hang out together, and they probably have all kinds of other activities, including spelling bees, history fair, science fair, and our homeschool group even has a PE co-op. So our favorite things to do are the PE class, which meets twice a week for 1 hour. It's an actual company that comes to the park and provides organized PE for all the kids of all ages. Then we also are a part of an actual art class that's put on by an actual teacher with real art curriculum once a week. That's about 2 hours. And we also go on tons of field trips. That is another wonderful resource. Facebook. Just Google any kind of Facebook groups in your area. You will find moms who set up all kinds of field trips, from grocery store field trips to the zoo field trips, science center, to the police station, and even the post office. So you do not have to miss out on all of the wonderful field trips, and you don't have to go to every single one, and you don't have to be in every single group. You can just sign up here and there and say, yes, this one works for me, and sign up for that one field trip. So no matter what type of personality you have, just be sure that you do join some kind of group, because you are going to need that support, and at some point you're going to want to have another homeschooling mom right by your side who knows exactly what you're going through at that time. Plus, homeschooling moms are the best at supporting you, especially when you need the physical support. Maybe you're sick, or your husband gets sick, or even if you lost your job, they're the first ones to set up that meal train. They're the first ones to come over and set up a financial support for you in some way. Finally made it to number 5. Don't forget why you're homeschooling. Okay, I know some of you didn't really choose to homeschooling. You might feel forced into it because of medical situations or severe allergies, and it might even feel like a dark cloud for you. There's others of us who wouldn't have it any other way and would actually cross state line to find more homeschooling freedoms. But whatever brought you to this specific homeschool journey, do not lose sight of the fact that now you are free with endless opportunities to just grow what your kids love. The whole reason why we're even here in this particular place is because my daughter is sure she wants to be a farmer. So I Googled farm camp, we found a farm in California that had space available, and here we are. We made a family vacation of it. Now my son wants to be a farmer too. And just don't forget to let the library be a huge resource for you. If my son asks, how does a trolley run? I can't necessarily jet off to San Francisco that day and put him on a trolley, but I can go to the library and we can read books about trolleys. He asks about robots and coding, and at the library they have coding classes and homeschool group classes, and there's just endless possibilities for homeschoolers at the library. So just grow whatever it is that your kid loves at this moment. Even if my kids don't grow up to be farmers, at least they have this huge experience to grow on and go in different ways and decide what they love. Just remember, you are not the school system, and your house does not have to look like a classroom. No one has to sit at a desk to learn something. If your child loves the ocean, then let them get a National Geographic book about the ocean and let them read that. They can write a report on that. They can learn the gravitational pull of the moon. They can figure out, well, what time is high tide? What time is low tide? If you're camping at this spot and it's 20 minutes, what time should we leave to be able to get there at high tide? If I have to park there and it costs $7 to park and I only have a $10 bill, how much change am I going to get back? You can turn anything into a learning experience. So it doesn't have to be sitting in your house at a desk. That is going to be miserable for everybody. So get out, adventure the library, go on nature hikes, let them get out and experience life and turn everything that they love into a learning situation so that they love to learn and everyone can enjoy your homeschooling experience. Sometimes we do sit at our desks and we get into a really great routine. And other times this routine can feel more like a rut. So don't forget to let them move. If a teacher came to class and only 2 students showed up and it still took her 6 hours to teach those 2 students, there would be something wrong with that. You don't need to spend 6 hours teaching just a few students. So it's okay to let them move and breathe and create and have a thought just of their own. Number 6, give yourself grace. You're gonna need it. So there's gonna be times when you're going through medical problems, family problems, maybe your husband's away in the military or he's gone for work for a while. There's gonna be other times when you're not in that season and things are going amazing, and you can use that opportunity to really get in a good homeschool routine and really get a lot of things done. But when you're not having amazing things happen and things are just rough and things are not good, it's okay to give yourself some grace. It's okay to say, let's just have peanut butter sandwiches for dinner and go to the park. Let's go on a bike ride. Let's go just sit on the couch and read books today. Let's just do crafts today. It's okay. Not every single day has to be a structured school day. It's okay if things are not going well to just stop and say, let's get a shower, some dinner, and start again tomorrow. So even in those bad days, you can just give yourself some grace, relax, and even use that moment as a learning curve and a learning tool in those moments. Finally, we've made it to number 7, get organized. Okay, I'm gonna confess, the number 1 hardest thing for me in homeschooling is the reality, understanding that your kids are going to be with you all the time. They don't go anywhere. So what do you do with all that time? How are you supposed to pay your bills, get the laundry done, go grocery shopping, do your dishes, and just do all of those things that you would usually do when your kids are at school because your kids are not at school? Well, all this time together can be amazing, but it can also create a lot of time together, which is a lot of fighting, sibling rivalry going on. It's crazy madness sometimes. And in that, you find, how am I supposed to stay above water? My house is drowning, everything's going down, and how do I keep it all together? But just staying organized, not getting organizing, but staying organized is really the key. I'm gonna give you my top 3 tips for staying organized and getting through this. So number 1, create a home blessing day. This is huge. whatever day of the week that you can carve out 2 to 5 hours, pick that day. For me, it's Friday. I pick 2 to 5 hours a day on Friday, and I clean the bathrooms, I run around like a crazy chicken cleaning the house, and I go grocery shopping, I cut and clean the vegetables. I get it all done on Friday. If it doesn't get done on Friday, I'm not doing it, because when your house is a mess, to me, every time during the week that I get a moment to just veg and relax, I feel like, oh, I should be cleaning the bathroom, or there's that pile of laundry and it drives me nuts. So I can't really enjoy when I do get downtime. So during that time on Friday, I do everything I need to do, and that's that. And during that time for your kids, that is a great time for them to play that one video game that you never let them play with that one iPad that you usually don't ever let them play with. That's their time to do what they want to do. They want to do a craft, they have things that they wanted to do all week, that's their time to do that. And that's your time to get your house ready to bless you for a whole nother week. Things will flow so much better when you have everything done and you're ready to go for a whole nother week. Number 2 is give a little bit of attention to laundry and dishes every day. If you're a morning person, then do it in the morning. If you're a night owl, then do it at night. But just go into the laundry room and do that one load of laundry really quickly. Just get it done. In the morning, maybe the first thing, pop in a load of laundry. Go downstairs or to your kitchen, check it out. Can you just do one thing of dishes? I can't stand going to bed with a dirty kitchen, because then the next day when I wake up, I feel like it's yesterday's mess just flowing over into the new day. I like to start a new day fresh and new. So at night, I always make sure the kitchen is clean, get the dishes done. And maybe in the morning, I need to put the dishes away from the dishwasher or from the counter, but you can do that at that time. It only takes a few minutes and it's done. Your kitchen is clean. You can start a fresh new day with a clean kitchen. And every morning, if there's a load of laundry, pop it in there, get it done, fold it as soon as it comes out of the dryer and put it away. Nothing is more aggravating than spending your week looking at loads of laundry piled up on the couch or piled up somewhere stashed, and it just makes for a rough week. So once everything's done and clean, you can stay organized. And number 3 is the food bar. This is huge. When you're home a lot, the house is getting used and things are getting messy. That kitchen, the sink, it's piling up. And just because you're home doesn't mean you have to cook this full-on meal for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and you're constantly cooking and cleaning. It doesn't need to be all of that. So if your kids like oatmeal, you can make an oatmeal bar. Set out some fruits, some oatmeal, some things that they can make real easy for breakfast, and then you can just put it back in the fridge. For lunch, something amazing that we do is quinoa, beans, lentils, cut up fruits and vegetables, just put it out there on the counter, let them fill their own plates, let them do what they want. They feel like they're getting to choose what they have for lunch, but it's still healthy options. And then you can just put those containers back in the fridge and pop them out again later. When you are making dinner, try to make 2 batches, because then you can always put the other batch in the freezer. And when you're having a rough day and you don't know what to make for dinner, it's in the freezer. You can pull it out. You always have something in the freezer to bring out. Some frozen broccoli goes great with everything. Or if your kids don't like broccoli, any kind of frozen vegetable and that dinner that you had made before. Or you can take that dinner and put into individual containers or even individual baggies, put them in the freezer, and then you have lunches for the next week. So that way, you're not always having to prepare and cook and clean your whole day. Things can run a lot more smoothly when you are organized. You can stay organized. I hope these 7 tips will inspire you to enjoy the adventure.